There are people who speak in big, thick pages of text, and there are people who speak in bullet points. In one-on-one business conversations, we're going to cover these 4 things. The first one is bullet point speaking, being polite and assertive, listening, and finally body language as it aligns with one-on-one business conversations. Now let me ask you a question. What is easier to read and process? A page that's full of thick text, or a page that's actually broken into paragraphs? Paragraphs or bullet points? Bullet points. Bullet points are bullet points with bolded headings. Bolded headings, right? The same concept applies in our one-on-one conversations, in verbal conversations. There are people who speak in big, thick pages of text, and there are people who speak in bullet points. What's your name? Rochelle. Now, if I ask Rochelle, what do you do? And what's your job title?
Mechanical engineering training.
Okay, EIT. Oh, I see. Okay, mechanical EIT. So she's a mechanical engineer. And if I ask, Rochelle, what do you do? Now, the big, thick page of text version of that response might sound like, I'm a mechanical engineer in training, and I'm working with the engineering department, helping them out with designs, and it's really fun. We've got a good team out there, and my boss is really good. I'm really lucky to work with him, and I was recently working on a design project out in Ottawa. So it was really fun. Now, I exaggerated it a little bit, but is it not similar to a response that we typically receive? Now, what is the bullet point version of that response? I'm a mechanical engineer in training, and currently I'm working on 3 main things. I'm working on design projects, I'm working on some internal quality improvement project, and I'm doing some internal social committee work for my company. Now, which one out of these 2 was easier to process? The second one. Which one do you remember more of? Which one? Do you remember anything out of that? Probably less than 20%, right? Here, you probably remember more than 80%, even though this one was 60 seconds ago, right? And that is what happens when we speak in big, thick pages of text. People hear us, but they can't process the information that we give out. It's not their fault, it's not your fault, it's just how the brain processes information. It has been found that when we deliver information like that, people don't remember more than 10% the next day, which is crazy, right? You put in so much effort, you're trying to give them everything you got, and now they don't remember anything. If they don't remember it, then they're less likely to act on it, right? And when they don't act on it, then we get frustrated. My team doesn't get me, right? All those things start to happen. So the question is, how do we speak in bullet points? And essentially, you have to do 3 things to be able to speak in bullet points. And this is what is going to help you articulate your thoughts better, right? This is how you'd be able to speak more crisply because you would have a finite number of things you want to say. We fumble when we don't have a structure in mind. Yes or no? When we don't know what to say, then we fumble. Then we have the ahs and the ums because you're thinking while you are speaking. But if you can train your mind to build some structure in your thoughts, then you would have lesser ahs and ums. And then over time, you would be able to completely eliminate the ahs and ums. So what do you need? The first is structure. Obviously, you gotta have a certain number of points, right? And it seems like a very difficult thing to do, but it's actually very easy. I've trained many people and I've seen them completely program their way of thinking to speak in bullet points. So when somebody asks you a question, so what do you think we should do next on this project? Right? That is a typical question you might answer at work. And these are also pretty high stake questions. If you respond well to this kind of a question, let's say with your boss, then you start to be treated differently, because now they think, okay, this guy actually knows what he's talking about, what she's talking about, right? But if you fumble and go all over the place, then obviously the brand and the reputation that you build is aligned with that. So you want to first start off with thinking about what is it that we can actually do in this project. If you are challenged, you can even say, give me a couple seconds to structure my thoughts. If you can't come up with a number right away, just say, we have a number of different paths we can pursue. First, we could actually go into some more data analysis. We could understand what is the energy consumption looking like and all that. Or second, we could go into design components. So we could start the design and then we can do the data analysis later on. Or finally, we could even go into some competitor research. Now, I had 3 points, but I didn't know if I'm going to have 3 points. So what I said initially was, there are a number of different options we can pursue, right? That alone is enough for people to process your information easily. Do you remember the 3 points that I just said to a certain extent? Yes? Just because they didn't even make sense, right? But just because I said them in a certain number, you remember them. What did you learn from this video? Comment below and let me know. I read every single comment on my videos. And if you haven't subscribed already, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you don't miss any of our future videos. We already have a lot of videos on our channel. Check the playlist on marketing, sales, communication, leadership, influence, persuasion, all of these skills that will help you transform the game and raise your career to the next level.